to the area or just want to know about the hidden gems and upcoming events? Stay tuned. Be Local Buzz with Devin takes you to these places, introduces you to the best businesses, and tells you about upcoming buzz. Preset your radio to TAN Talk 1340 AM or 106.1 FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. That is the Be Local Buzz with Devin on TAN Talk 1340 AM and 106 FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. Looking forward to speaking with you.
Hey, this is Steve Vaccaro, psychologist and host of the Chapters Wrap Live. Each live show will bring on top-notch guests from the nonprofit world. We are the advocacy show that provides a platform for other advocates. So please tune in on your drive home from work to share your voice. The Chapters Wrap, where unity and diversity meet one chapter at a time.
Listen to Kicking Unhealthy Relationships to the Curb at 5, Voices for Change at 6, Reach Out with Ray and Steve at 7, and the Chapters Wrap at 8, Wednesdays, here on the TAN Talk Radio Network.
Listen to the latest pet trends with benefits on the Pet Buzz every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. Join pet trendologist Charlotte Reed and veterinarian Dr. Michael Fleck as they talk all things pets. From animal health and wellness, money-saving tips, celebrity gossip, breaking news, and more. Their expert guests are in the know and in the now. To learn more about this unique program and its hosts, tune into the show on the TAN Talk Radio Network.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
It's time for the Kelly Kelly Show on the TAN Talk Radio Network with your hosts Kelly Kelly and Doug Kelly. Kelly is an award-winning photographer and travel writer, as well as the publisher of the popular ColorfulClearwater.com blog. And Doug is the author of 3 published books and a contributing editor for Florida Sportsman magazine. Now, here they are.
All right, here we are indeed. You know, tomorrow's a big day in Florida because the voting ends. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. That's when very, very anxious candidates find out if all the debates and handshaking and speeches and meet and greets and fundraising and all that advertising, positive and negative, put them over the top or spell a loss. Campaigning is not for the faint of heart.
It's a hard road that requires months and months, if not years of planning.
Yeah.
In the Florida primary tomorrow, Republicans and Democrats vote for whom they want to face each other in the general election on November 8th.
That's true. Independents were able to vote too, but on nonpartisan type issues. So after the dust is cleared, about 7:30 tomorrow night, we'll know the lineup of candidates for the various races.
One of our guests today is involved in such a campaign, but first we chat with the Director of Cultural Affairs and Arts in one of my favorite cities, Tarpon Springs.
Yes, it is. It's a great place. I like the Sponge Docks, but there's so much more to Tarpon Springs than that. We're going to find out. But before we chat with our guests, we're hoping a mystery is resolved this week. That brings in Big Ed Davis, the executive producer of the show, of TAN Talk Radio Network. After the Bucs lost last week, 26-24 to the Dolphins, and these are preseason games, you can't really get nuts about it because they're putting in a lot of backups. They're saying who's going to get cut, who's going to do this. But they really got egg on their face Saturday night. They only got 3 points against the Tennessee Titans. Kind of a pathetic performance. Problems on the offensive line with some injuries. Tom Brady's been out almost 2 weeks. For whatever personal reasons. So let's get the opinion of Ed. What do you think? What's going on?
This was one of those games that you were thankful you watched it on TV. You didn't pay You didn't pay $150 or $200 for a seat.
Oh my gosh.
For that.
I agree.
The Bucs did play practically any of their starters. A few guys on offensive line. It was just a glorified practice. And
True.
I don't even.
True.
I don't
3
even,
points.
You know what? You can have a team that goes 0-3 or 0-4 in the preseason. They start out the season 6-0.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
It just doesn't mean anything.
No. It's no time to be worried.
No, but it was just boring.
But it was a horrible game. It really was.
So boring. I flipped over to the Rays.
I don't blame you. Well, what's up with Tom Brady?
Well,
I know nobody knows for sure.
He's back. He is back.
He is back.
He practiced today
at
I didn't 1 o'clock.
That. Cool.
Which was the deal going in that he would be back right after the game. He's back.
Yep.
there's been, the last game I was at in the press box, everybody's got their theory as to what's going on.
Right.
And nobody really has an answer. But I got to give you something. I was talking to people last night. And anybody listening, you're not going to hear it anywhere else but here first.
Cool.
Because it's slipped under the radar. This is 2022, in case you didn't know.
Right.
This is the 20th.
Is that the news you're talking about?
No.
Oh.
This is the 20th year anniversary of the first Super Bowl win.
Oh, wow. Yeah, John Gruden.
I talked, at the 10 year, they brought them all back. We had a big ceremony on the field at halftime. I talked to some of those former players, and there will be no ceremony this year.
Wow. Just because Gruden got in some trouble.
Exactly.
That's
exactly. They took his name off the stadium.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
And the players quietly very upset because the Glazers, the Bucs officially told them, we're going to wait till the 25th. Now, I'm sorry, but NFL players, their lifespan is every year they're still on the earth.
Yeah.
They're thankful for it.
I know.
And to make them wait another 5 years is just wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Because and the man has not been convicted of anything.
Yeah.
He has been slurred in the media, slurred in the public eye.
Yeah.
And he's even suing the NFL, and it looks like he's going to win that case.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
But I just wanted to say that anybody out there you're going to hear it in the next few days because my friends like to listen to stations and get little pieces. All of a sudden, you're seeing this blow up in the paper now.
Wow.
Why no celebration of the 20th anniversary?
Wow.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. Gruden's such a first-class guy. He said some things he shouldn't have, and they got. You think things are personal and protected, and they never are when you type something.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful.
It wasn't even clear cut to me. It was just it was a joke.
Yeah.
We've all joked, and I'm sorry.
I agree with you there.
What he's accused of is wrong. He's not.
Yep.
He's not a racist. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's not.
Okay.
You can also check out our show live on Facebook at the Kelly Show page. And we're also on YouTube and podcast at internetradiopros.com.
Yeah.
And today we're giving away $25 gift cards to 2 lucky listeners. I didn't know there was 2.
Well, there's going to be 1 for each ad break here.
I see.
Speaking of that.
2. So stay tuned.
Speaking of that, see if you know the answer to this question, because the first caller with the correct answer wins a $25 gift card. Our phone number is 727-441-3000. In what city is the world's largest Kentucky Fried Chicken? 727-441-3000. If you know, or you think you know, give us a call. The answer, of course, we'll tell you right after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
In 1955, the law firm now known as Perenick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes made a decision. Instead of taking whatever cases came through their doors, they decided to focus specifically on personal injury. 64 years later, the law firm is one of Clearwater's longest-running personal injury firms. Available 24 hours a day with offices in Clearwater and throughout Tampa Bay, they're ready to put decades of experience to work for you if you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or injured due to someone's negligence or recklessness. If you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure about your next steps after being involved in an accident or after a loved one sustained serious injuries due to someone else's negligence, call Perenick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes at 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. That's 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. Non-attorney spokesman.
These days, amidst supply chain issues, staffing crises, and rising energy bills, it's not easy to be a successful entrepreneur in Clearwater. For many, financial fears have led to sleepless nights. On top of that, many more have employees and customers that they're trying to protect and reassure. A monumental task when they themselves are struggling with burnout. We're all experiencing a lot of intense emotions. So where can you find safe harbor? At Amplify Clearwater. Amplify Clearwater is your Chamber of Commerce, and the name says it all. To make Clearwater larger, greater, stronger. Here you'll find like-minded members who are seeking opportunities to learn from each other, to collaborate, network, support, and do business together. Every business owner's goal in 2022 is to grow their business. If you need help, your friends at Amplify Clearwater are here for you. Submit your application today at amplifyclearwater.com/join.
Shop the largest selection of Guy Harvey apparel, artwork, and gift items at guyharvey.com. From the world-renowned marine wildlife artist, the Guy Harvey online shop features the latest in performance apparel, classic Guy Harvey t-shirts, decor for every room in your home, exquisite ocean-inspired jewelry, and unique gift items, including custom merchandise not available anyplace else. Browse an extensive catalog of original Guy Harvey works of art and a full range of beautiful reproductions. As with all Guy Harvey merchandise, a percentage of sales benefits the ocean conservation, research, and education work of the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation. The Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation will help ensure that future generations can enjoy and benefit from a well-balanced ocean ecosystem. Bring the undersea world into your everyday life at guyharvey.com.
Do you know what a truly special blog is? It's a website that's rated as one of the best in Florida, chock full of fantastic articles, humor, videos, and hundreds of cool pictures. So what blog is creating all that buzz? It's colorfulclearwater.com, a blog on the internet created by Kelly Kelly. In only its second year, colorfulclearwater.com is gaining in popularity every day due to its original writing and original videos and photography. It's updated several times per week with fresh content and includes everything about the color, culture, and vibrancy of Clearwater's citizens and businesses. Even though it covers just one city in Florida, colorfulclearwater.com nonetheless is already outperforming blogs promoting tourist destinations and major sports teams. Hey, see for yourself. Give a visit to colorfulclearwater.com and make it your source of enlightening insights and entertainment. That's colorfulclearwater.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
All right. Well, thank you for being with us today on the Kelly Kelly Show. I'm here with my better half, Kelly Kelly. I'm Doug Kelly.
By the way, happy anniversary.
Yes.
Our anniversary was yesterday.
Yes, it was. 14 years.
14 years. We've been together 20.
We've been together 20 years.
Took you a while to ask.
Well, you know.
Are you just exchanging that now?
Yes. Yes. We didn't even.
So you blew past yesterday completely?
No. We went to dinner and slapped each other around a little bit.
I mean, that was. You know, we don't need graphics. I mean,
yes, you do.
That was just kind of, I don't know, very
casual. It was kind of, yeah.
Oh, by the way, something you say in the hallway. Oh, by the way, happy anniversary.
Oh, yeah, it's like, belated happy birthday.
Pass
right?
me some more toilet paper.
There you go. Well, we did have a winner before the break. We asked what was the world's largest Kentucky Fried Chicken. The answer, believe it or not, Beijing, China.
I would have never got that.
I would have never gotten it either.
Never got
that. That was a bad question. I shouldn't have passed that one on. That was too hard.
But you notice the phones. And by the way, congratulations to Damien in Clearwater.
Damien won it. Okay, yeah. Damien.
Cool.
Thanks for listening. Congratulations.
It takes a few seconds for them to Google it.
Of course.
Well, yeah. Hopefully they're not Googling it as they're driving, though.
Yeah, yeah, right. Well,
our first guest today is Diane Wood, the Director of the Cultural and Civic Services Department for the City of Tarpon Springs. Welcome to the show, Diane.
Thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic. Well, before we delve into what you do and what's coming up in the city, where were you born and raised? Give us a little background.
I am actually a native Floridian.
Oh, my.
And I grew up in the Hollywood.
I don't see a grass skirt.
I've outgrown that.
Oh, okay.
I actually grew up in, like I said, Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale area. And I just lived on the East Coast for most of my life, went to Florida State and
I'm sorry to
college.
Hear that.
I figured that there would be some of those in the listening audience. I came back after moving from Florida I went to New Orleans then to Dallas and then to Baton Rouge.
Oh, my.
And now I'm back in Florida, but this time I chose the West Coast. Love the beaches.
You weren't busted flat in Baton Rouge, were you? As Janis Joplin put it? No? Okay. Well, I'm glad you're back down. And I lived in Miami many years and also Lauderdale for a short stint and all that.
Yeah, you told us that you're a Seminole. Give us, tell us more about your education.
Actually, my background is marketing. I have a Bachelor of Science in Marketing, and kind of started out in Miami at I don't know if anybody Floridians remember Burdine's department store.
Yes, downtown.
Yes,
They
in
started
downtown Miami.
Dade
and
land. They moved around.
That was the first job. And then when I got married and moved to New Orleans, I had a job with IBM for quite a few years. And then, the kids started and all that stuff.
Yes.
Then we went to Dallas, and
good for you.
And Baton Rouge was really a wonderful place, you know, kind of thing. But as far as education goes, it's just I've always used my marketing expertise and worked for a lot of different industries. The real estate developers up in Pasco County and, downtown Tampa, financial planners. Worked at the Straz Center, actually published a magazine. I don't know if you remember it, early 2000s. It was called Applause magazine, and it focused specifically on the arts and nonprofits. So
very good. So how you end up in Tarpon Springs?
Well,
job?
Yes, a job. I met Kathleen Monahan, Dr. Kathleen Monahan, who was the director. And I came on as her marketing person. And then when she retired, I became the director and took her place. So I've been doing that job for almost 8 years now.
Fantastic. Good.
You have a Sweet 16 event coming up. Tell us about that.
Sweet 16.
I thought no. Well, I got it wrong, but you do have a booklet of all kinds of neat things coming up and different shows. A lot of people, when they think of Tarpon Springs, the famous, sponge docks.
Yeah.
And they are sensational, but you've got a lot of things going on culturally, entertainment, arts. Tell us about some of the shows and stuff coming up.
Well, one of the things that I've always been impressed with Tarpon Springs is that for the size of the city, we have an amazing cultural and arts, opportunities for people. We have the Zephyrhills Museum, which is we can do tours there. We have the Heritage Museum where we have our also our ticket sales office. We also have 2 performing arts centers. So we have the Cultural Center, which was the original city hall for Tarpon Springs. We have 70 seats in there, and then we have almost 300 seats in our city hall. So some of the shows that we bring in, of course, with 300 seats, you can't bring the original artists, but we have a great following. We bring in amazing tribute bands. One of the things we're going to kick off this new season with is Turnstiles, which they are a tribute band for Billy Joel.
Oh, yeah.
They're fantastic. And then following that, Phil Collins just retired. Still Collins is a tribute band to his music.
Frankie Valli, I saw, was in
we've
there.
got those. We've got
Neil Diamond.
Yes, Neil Diamond. And we also have some interesting other types of shows for people that maybe don't prefer the concerts. We have Shakespeare in the Dark, which is like a little snippet of the best of Shakespeare. And then we have Flip Flop Opera. So instead of coming to
Flip Flop Opera,
it's like the stigma of going to the opera and having to dress up, wear your pearls and that sort of thing. We decided, we decided to just kind of relax it a little bit and say, hey, come in your Hawaiian shirts, come in your flip flops, and enjoy beautiful music.
That's cool.
So we've got that going on, and then we have a really robust community theater offering for people in our cultural center, which is a 70-seat theater. So lots of wonderful plays for people to enjoy, lots of comedies and dramas. But Tarpon Springs is really going through a renaissance now. Everybody knows the sponge docks, but downtown Tarpon has just grown over the last couple of years, and we've got brand new restaurants, we've got brand new shops. So, all kinds of things are opening left and right, and we're just booming. We have people coming all the time, and plus, Tarpon Springs has like 16 parks for recreation. So water sports are really big. And so
golf course.
Yeah, golf course. You can spend, the entire weekend with us and not see and enjoy everything. So a lot of new restaurants and great stuff. And then come and stay for a show too.
Absolutely.
I didn't know there was 16 parks. I'm going to have to visit.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful thing.
Yeah, she's a park fiend.
I am.
Mhm.
Yep.
So that's it. This all sounds interesting. You gave us a guide, and wow, there are some great programs on the menu this year.
Yeah.
One of the things that we like to do during the holidays is we have Victorian Christmas, which is really popular, and that's kind of like a family favorite. It's it's a whole weekend, 2 days, and we dress up the Safford House. We deck it out in beautiful Christmas splendor, and a lot of people like to come and see, the decorations. We have actors that portray Anson Safford and Dr. Mary Jane Safford, and we have a harpist, and so it kind of gets people in the Christmas spirit.
Sounds nice. Really,
Do
really
you
good.
dress up?
I am running around too much.
I hear you.
That's great.
I've got the hat on.
There you go.
I see a Beach Boys tribute.
Yes.
Oh, that looks good.
They're wonderful.
And Motown?
Motown is fantastic. We had a wonderful Motown group last season, and we sold them out. And this one, this Motown one is almost a third sold out already. And we've only been selling tickets for 2 weeks. So you must remember that with our shows, they're very popular and they sell out. So you need to get your tickets early.
And how do people get tickets?
They can go online to tarponarts.org and they can order their tickets online, or they could come into the Heritage Museum. So you get double the pleasure, double the fun, because you get to see our beautiful Heritage Museum and come and buy your tickets there in person. We also have some ways that you can save money. We have a series of 6 where if somebody comes in and buys tickets, one transaction to 6 different shows,
brings the cost
they get
down.
about 15% off of that.
Very
and
nice.
if you become a member, you get even more money off. So
Very,
there's all
very
kinds of wonderful ways to save.
Fantastic. Well, tell us about your family a little bit.
Well, I've got 3 beautiful daughters.
All right.
I've got 2 that are local here. My youngest daughter, I'm very proud of her. She's working very diligently against human trafficking, and has
Good for her.
a wonderful
Very important.
nonprofit called iriseflorida.org. And she's doing a great golf tournament coming up in October. So please, and all you golfers out there, go check it out.
Maybe we need to have her come on the program
Absolutely.
and talk about it.
Yes.
Florida?
iriseflorida.org.
Very good.
Yes. And my other daughter is an animal lover, and she is very heavily involved with a veterinarian's office locally. And then I have another daughter who is a professor up in University of South Carolina, up in Bluffton, South Carolina. So
Nice.
And 3 beautiful grandchildren.
All right.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky.
Good for you. Well, I know Chris Alahouzes used to be the mayor of
sir.
Tarpon Springs. He was on the show a couple of times. And you have a new mayor, of course. I think he
do.
termed out Chris. So tell us who the new mayor is.
The new mayor is Costa Vaticiotis. And, he has been a longtime Tarponite, and he's got a great program that he's, been moving forward in the city. And I think we're excited about wonderful, good things to happen as we progress.
And what do you like doing on your time off?
I like to travel and go explore different, areas and enjoy Tarpon Springs too.
Yeah.
Because when you're working, so I'll come and bring my friends. But I like to just kind of take little trips around Florida, and I like to go to the beach.
Very good.
Paso Grill is my favorite.
Yeah, that's nice beach.
I don't think I've ever been to that one.
It's south of the Don Cesar.
Okay.
And the reason I like it is because it's very old Florida feeling. There's not a lot of high rises.
Really?
And, it's beautiful.
That's kind of what I like too.
It's
So I'll have to
just
check
right
that
near
out.
Tierra Verde.
Yeah.
Sure. It is a
Very nice.
pretty area for sure. Well, great. Well, give us again the contact info for those who'd like to not only visit Tarpon Springs, but maybe go to one of the shows you mentioned.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So in order to get your tickets, you can visit us at tarponarts.org, and you can buy tickets online and find out about some of our other venues and other ways that you can save money, or come and visit us at the Heritage Museum, which is in a beautiful Craig Park in Tarpon Springs, right off of Spring Bayou, where they do the Epiphany celebration. And we're open 10 to 4 Monday through Friday. And we'd love for you to come visit us and check us out. And also remember, we've got the Zephyrhills as well as the Cultural Center for you to visit too. We've got lots of arts going on in Tarpon Springs.
Yeah, it's very energetic for a town of 16,000, did you say?
Oh, I think we got more than that now. We're almost at 25, 26,000.
Growing.
Wow.
Yes.
Everybody's coming in, huh?
Growing.
And we'll have to check out some of those new restaurants
Yes,
too. They sound awesome.
Oh, we've got lots of new restaurants, and then we've got wonderful ways for you to enjoy the water. If you don't have a boat, you can go kayaking. You can take one of our cruises that take you out to the Anclote Key and different places. Yes, it's beautiful.
It is nice.
Great.
Yeah, and of course there's Sunset Beach, and they have free concerts out there on Thursdays once a month. So
you got us all fired up.
Well, come on down. We got lots to offer you.
Very good.
So Diane Wood, Director of the Cultural and Civic Services Department for the City of Tarpon Springs.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for being with us today. All right.
Our next guest is hoping to be a U.S. Congressman in our community, and we'll talk to him in just a few minutes. First, however, you can win a $25 gift card if you are the first to call us with the correct answer. How many letters are there in the Hawaiian alphabet? Is it 12, 24, or 36? Call us at 727-441-3000 if you know the answer.
That's right. And if you're the first one with the correct answer, you'll get a free $25 gift card to one of the restaurant chains, more likely.
Awesome.
Very, very good. All right. Well, listen, we're going to be back in just a few minutes. And if you do know that answer, call us in. We'll be back with more of the Kelly Kelly Show right after this.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
In 1955, the law firm now known as Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes made a decision. Instead of taking whatever cases came through their doors, they decided to focus specifically on personal injury. 64 years later, the law firm is one of Clearwater's longest-running personal injury firms. Available 24 hours a day with offices in Clearwater and throughout Tampa Bay, they're ready to put decades of experience to work for you if you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or injured due to someone's negligence or recklessness. If you feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or unsure about your next steps after being involved in an accident or after a loved one sustained serious injuries due to someone else's negligence, call Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes at 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. That's 727-796-8282 or online at usalaw.com. Non-attorney spokesman.
Ask any successful entrepreneur. They'll tell you that the fundamental way to grow a business is through strategic connections. Relationships drive business. Forming a solid network of reliable contacts is essential to your growth. And there's no better way to get connected in Clearwater than through membership in Amplify Clearwater, your Chamber of Commerce for Clearwater and Clearwater Beach. Amplify Clearwater is your first level of support. Membership affords you the opportunity to meet like-minded business owners you otherwise wouldn't have met. You'll be able to collaborate, network, support, bond, and do business with each other. Interested? Then visit amplifyclearwater.com. There you'll find all the information you need to make an informed decision and start the membership application process. Amplify Clearwater. One community, one chamber, one vision. Join today at amplifyclearwater.com.
Shop the largest selection of Guy Harvey apparel, artwork, and gift items at guyharvey.com. From the world-renowned marine wildlife artist, the Guy Harvey online shop features the latest in performance apparel, classic Guy Harvey t-shirts, decor for every room in your home, exquisite ocean-inspired jewelry, and unique gift items, including custom merchandise not available anyplace else. Browse an extensive catalog of original Guy Harvey works of art and a full range of beautiful reproductions. As with all Guy Harvey merchandise, a percentage of sales benefits the ocean conservation, research, and education work of the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation. The Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation will help ensure that future generations can enjoy and benefit from a well-balanced ocean ecosystem. Bring the undersea world into your everyday life at guyharvey.com.
Do you know what a truly special blog is? It's a website that's rated as one of the best in Florida, chock full of fantastic articles, humor, videos, and hundreds of cool pictures. So what blog is creating all that buzz? It's colorfulclearwater.com, a blog on the internet created by Kelly Kelly. In only its second year, colorfulclearwater.com is gaining in popularity every day due to its original writing and original videos and photography. It's updated several times per week with fresh content and includes everything about the color, culture, and vibrancy of Clearwater's citizens and businesses. Even though it covers just one city in Florida, colorfulclearwater.com nonetheless is already outperforming blogs promoting tourist destinations and major sports teams. Hey, see for yourself. Give a visit to colorfulclearwater.com and make it your source of enlightening insights and entertainment. That's colorfulclearwater.com.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Thank you for listening to the Kelly Kelly Show. I'm Kelly Kelly. I'm here with my husband and better half, Doug
Better
Kelly.
Three-quarter. Better
Yeah.
three-quarter.
And if you were listening earlier and did anybody call in, Doug? Ed.
Ed.
Ed. Yes. Our
Yeah.
question was, how many letters are there in the Hawaiian alphabet? Is it 12, 24, or 36? And this is to win a $25 gift card.
And the answer was
12.
12.
12?
Yes.
Theo in St. Pete called.
Theo in St. Pete.
Theo in
Okay.
St. Pete.
I asked him how long it took him to Google it. He said, no, it's one of those things you just knew.
I'll be doggone.
Wow.
That's neat.
Interesting.
Aloha. That's fantastic.
Apply for Jeopardy tomorrow.
Well, Florida's 13th U.S. Congressional District covers just about all of Pinellas County. The current congressman is Charlie Crist, but he's running instead for governor in
That's
the
right.
Democrat primary. Therefore, it's an open seat, and it's drawn the attention of both Republican and Democrat candidates in tomorrow's primary.
Kevin Haslett is one of the GOP primary candidates, and he's with us now. Kevin, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I always appreciate the Kellys.
There you go.
Awesome.
You're into the Irish, are you?
Yeah, the Kellys cubed or Kellys squared. We like it.
Kelly
That's
Square.
true.
She has a T-shirt saying
I
K2.
love that. I
K2.
love
K2
that.
on
Yep.
it. Tell us your work as an attorney and what led you to that career path before we
Sure.
get into your candidacy.
Yeah. So one of the unique things I think in this race is I think the other candidates, all of them moved. One from California. Miss Luna came from California. Miss Mackey moved from Washington, D.C. They moved here specifically to run for Congress. And for me, as someone who's lived in Pinellas County all my life, and I've been a Republican all my life, I kind of felt like I needed to run because, Miss Luna was a prior Democrat. And I just feel a lot of pride as a Republican in Pinellas County. And we've been fooled with Charlie Crist, and you guys have watched the chameleon change of Charlie Crist from Changang Charlie to now Democrat Charlie. It literally appeared before our eyes, kind of like watching a chameleon that changes colors. We saw that happen. And as someone who went to Clearwater High and spent my early career as a prosecutor, prosecuting some of the largest drug trafficking cases in the history of the state of Florida. And also, we started way back then when human trafficking started. I started the human trafficking prosecution and started that under Jimmy Russell. And I don't know if you remember Jimmy Russell. He was just really a hard-nosed prosecutor. So I started out doing that, raised my family here. I've got a son that works in New York City in finance. My middle son went to the United States Naval Academy. He's a naval officer. And my youngest one's a senior at West Point. So I'm very, very connected to the military. Obviously, we raised leaders in our family. And very involved in the community. I was on the board of the Suncoast YMCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Very involved in the community, very much a lifetime conservative. So when I saw the choices we had in these candidates, I really thought that we needed to run a true conservative, not folks that were prior Democrats. Certainly my opponent, Ms. Luna. So that kind of led me that I kind of have that sort of Republican pride that we needed to have someone here that A, was a true conservative, number two, that understood the community here and would lead us in D.C.
I've got to ask you this. You've got a son at West Point. You have a son at the Naval who went to the Naval Academy.
Yes, sir.
I know you've heard this question before. What in the hell are you going to do during the Army-Navy game? Who are you going to root for?
Well, first of all, Doug, we never miss an Army-Navy game, and we've gone to all of them since they started.
Really?
Yeah, every single one.
How cool.
We try to get down on the field because we've met so many wonderful people. Anybody who's a veteran who understands any armed services understands
just how prideful that is.
Oh, yes.
So we change what we do. We do the right thing. At halftime, we change sides. And I've got a hat.
You are a politician.
No, but I've got a hat that says a house divided. So it's wonderful.
That's very wonderful, too. My dad was an Air Force veteran. So I'm familiar with that side of it. And we had a friend who went to West Point, ended up in Exxon and whatever. It's a long story. But so you're from Tampa?
I'm from Clearwater. I'm from Pinellas County.
Originally. And what about your legal career? You said you were a prosecutor.
Yeah, I started a prosecutor, started a law firm here with 3 folks.
Right.
Grew it from basically 4 folks to almost 90 employees.
Wow.
So we really, really grew it. I kind of, it's one thing, when you get into politics, my position is that you need to have established yourself in something before you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think too many people are trying to get in politics and make that their career.
Yeah.
To me, and listen, some people like that.
Right.
That for them, that's their thing. My opponent, Miss Luna, that she wants to make that her career. Mm-hmm. For some people, that's their thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a politician. She's a politician. I'm not a politician. Mm. And I think what we should probably do is have people that establish themselves, be a business person, have some connection to the community, be a true Republican, be a conservative before you want to run for office. So I did that. Also been involved in real estate here. We own a percentage of some other business, some restaurants. So really entrepreneurial, but, have the position to negotiate 401ks, to get, the health insurance for my employees, understand the big picture, as opposed to the other folks in the race who have not really done anything in business.
Negotiating is really important when you
I
get
think
to
so,
Congress.
absolutely. Yes.
It's dealing with people.
Sure.
And it's all about compromise.
Yes.
Ted Kennedy was the
master.
Was a liberal Democrat, but he also knew you can't always get everything you want, and neither side gets everything. So if you want to dig your heels in and not budge because of ideology, then you don't get things done. So you understand that dealing with clients, dealing with the courts, dealing with judges, and other attorneys.
Yeah, but I think the thing is too, though, is that sometimes there are 2 types of parents. There's the parents that want to be the friends with their kids,
yes,
and the parents that need to make the tough decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that means don't give them popcorn or candy and buy them everything they need.
Right.
It's teaching responsibility, saving, having character, having core values. I'm going to disagree with the compromise right now because I think Washington's broke. I came in here sweating because we've knocked on almost 18,000 doors.
Wow.
That's
18,000. Not today. I think it was 186 today, but we've knocked on literally 18,000 doors.
Incredible.
Wow.
And the beauty of it in my campaign is that it's myself and my volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
When I say volunteers, that means they volunteer. I'm not paying them.
Yeah.
My opponent, they got paid by an outside group to make them walk doors. That's the difference is when you have an organic group that are volunteering because they are behind a candidate or a cause, we've just seen this groundswell of support. And we're at doors, we see a couple of things. Number one, people are not happy with the current direction of the country. They're concerned. They're concerned about our safety. They're concerned about our military. They're concerned about inflation. They're concerned about prices and gas. All these things are swelling up, and they're saying we're going the wrong direction. So you got a lot of people that really, I think, want to change.
Well, I wasn't saying you change your ideology.
Right.
Not at all. I'm a conservative Republican. And
sure.
Anyone who listens to the show knows that. We've had, other people on. We had Charlie on the show and others too. So we get different points of view. But you bend to the point where you don't break.
Right.
You also have certain principles that you cannot cross barriers on.
Right.
So I understand that too. So, have you held political office before?
No, other than 6th grade crossing guard, which I won unanimously. But no, I've never held. And it's what you're seeing, I think, the cycle too, are patriots stepping forward that have never held office before because they see this really problem in the country and they can't sit on their couch anymore. And they're literally leaving their jobs like I did in order to take up the cause. And I think that it's really, really important for people to step up when they see there's a need.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. How about the 13th U.S. Congressional District that covers all of the
what
county?
happened was, so they redistrict it. So every 10 years after the census, they redraw it. Right. And this year it was redrawn in part by the influence of Governor DeSantis. Mm-hmm. And I'm certainly proud to have the support of Governor DeSantis' mom and dad, Ron Sr. and his wife, Karen. The DeSantises have been huge supporters of mine. They've come to every event. They take photos. The DeSantises have, my bumper stickers on their cars. The DeSantises have yard sign in their yards. The DeSantises are fully behind my candidacy. And it's so wonderful to have such a great Florida family, to have the DeSantis' endorsement and support. It just feels great. And like I said, they've been awesome. But, but the new district was kind of carved out by Governor DeSantis, and the downtown part of St. Pete was carved out. Mm-hmm. That means the part that was like the bluest part.
Yeah, right.
So you take downtown, so it's 34th Street going east.
Into Castor's
goes
district.
to Castor. Mm-hmm. West is in my district.
Right.
And then we moved it north all the way into Gus Bilirakis' district, all the way to Pasco County line. And of course, I had Greek Easter with Gus and his dad, Mike, and his wife. They're great people, super supportive of my campaign. Mm-hmm. He just really is excited to see me serving in Congress. Gus has been wonderful and super supportive, and I certainly appreciate that.
DeSantis' father, actually, and I have the same barber.
Andrew.
Andrew.
Well, if you go into Andrew's barbershop, you're going to be inundated with my signs. He single-handedly, Andrew the barber is a wonderful patriot, and he has been spreading the word in Dunedin. Yeah. He is a wonderful, wonderful man.
I'm going in, matter of fact, the next day or two. Candy does my
hair,
his daughter, and my beard's gotten a little too gruffy, so I'm going to get a trim.
She's great.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. But you're up against several other candidates vying for Republican votes. You mentioned them already. So you've mentioned why you feel you're the best choice.
Sure.
What issues do you think are the most important that you will face, and what are your policies on them?
I think the one that I think is really important, because there's a distinction, is my position on the border. Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, fentanyl is flooding this country. It's killing folks, and they don't really talk about, mainstream media doesn't talk about, the number one killer, 18 to 30, is fentanyl poisoning.
Yeah.
And it's alarming. We've got folks that are flooding to the border. It's a real problem. My opponent, Ms. Luna, is an open border. That she's said she agrees with Obama's immigration policy. She's for amnesty. She supports, being a prior Democrat. I understand that. That's just not what I believe in. Mm-hmm. I believe that the border really is sort of our last stand. And I think what we need to do is even actually be stricter than Trump. In my opinion, we've got it. It's gotten so bad. We need to take extraordinary measures to make sure the border is secure. And my position is to literally let's shut it down and not let folks in until we get a handle on it. And I don't really care how long that is.
Now, as a prosecutor,
yes,
you've seen a lot of drug
Well,
cases.
sorry, as a prosecutor, I was telling the story the other day. I prosecuted many large drug cases, and one in particular I did. It was the Colombian cartel was coming through Miami. They're bringing about 100 keys a month up to Pinellas County. I had a contract taken out on my life.
Wow.
I was literally in the parking lot after a closing argument. My tires were slashed, all of 2 of the 4. So, it's not an accident. Mm-hmm. So it got to the point where it's a very dangerous business.
Wow.
And that year that I prosecuted, a prosecutor out in Fort Myers was shot and killed at his door from a defendant some of these prosecuted. So it's a very, very dangerous business. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important, in my opinion, to have folks that have had that experience and understand that. Mm-hmm. And listen, we can disagree ideology. I'm okay with my opponent being open borders. That's her position. That might resonate with some people. That's not my position. Yeah. So when you talk about positions, we're different there. We have a different position. The other thing I've talked extensively about is inflation, because as a business person, I have the experience. I've hired employees. I think it's different. Of course, she's never had a business or run a business. And I think that's the difference between the two. And I think it's exciting if someone wants to be a life in politics. That's their goal. That's fine. I think what you do is you go into business first. Before you get the pen to the largest checkbook in the country, you want to have some experience. So I think inflation's important. You got to stop the printing of money. You've got to also make sure that for our seniors here, that you don't touch the sacred cow, Social Security.
Yeah,
that's a real problem, because a lot of people are concerned that Congress raids it. And I've been at top of the world. I've been at Midlands. I've been all around the county talking.
Is that a danger? Because I've heard that for years, and now I'm approaching Social Security age. I just kind of thought,
because you did, but Kelly, you didn't really think about it because it was not germane to your life.
Right.
But when you take, a lot of that money is supposed to be locked away. Mm-hmm. And the other problem is when it was devised, when it came up with, it was supposed to gap you 2 or 3 years. Now people are living 20 extra years.
Yeah.
So it's a real problem, and it needs to be tackled. But the folks that I've seen are really hurting because their buying power hasn't increased. The inflation is hurting them. The first time going to Publix is no longer a pleasure. And it's true. It's true.
I'm on Social Security.
See, you could, Doug, you speak to that.
But I've got all that big money from the radio coming in.
There you go,
So
big money.
I don't appreciate, normal things as most people. One thing I think is really admirable, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. Governor Abbott from Texas is busing some of the migrants into New York City.
Yeah, that's what our governors are doing well. He's sending them to Delaware.
Yeah.
What?
Yes, he's taking.
They're taking.
So what happens that when these folks come across, they're green lighted into our country. That's an open border policy, by the way. They're green lighted in, which we need. I don't agree with that. They're green lighted in. Many of the folks are coming on are fentanyl. Some are trafficking, human trafficking. Some of these folks are bringing in children that are not their own children. The coyotes are paying them. It's just a horrible thing. And what they've been doing is putting them on ghost busts and then moving around the country, paying for them. You and I are paying for them, by the way.
Yeah.
And then with a promise to come back for a hearing, 12 months later, and less than 8% show up. That's a horrible system. That's a horrible system. Listen, I mean, there are some folks that agree with that. I just disagree. I think it's a horrible, I mean, it's a problem because every state is at risk, including Florida.
But it's cool that all these people from some of the northern cities that don't really care too much because it doesn't affect them. They're not near the border.
Not in my backyard.
All of a sudden, when a busload of people start coming in, they start screaming bloody murder.
For the first time,
Ed,
yes.
you wanted to add something.
To that border thing, it's really disgusting with the busloads of migrants coming up, illegals. Can we just call them?
Just call me illegals, yeah.
Illegals. They're getting off the bus and people. I mean, on the news, you can't lie. They're holding $20 bills out towards them.
Sad.
So they're getting off the bus. This last weekend, New York actually made a little fair out of it. They had some pop-up tents. You get off the bus. You get your cell phone here. You get your free health care here. You get your gift card for this or whatever for here. And this is all happening within blocks of people that are Americans living on the streets.
Yeah. It's
children, kids.
It's crazy.
How do we have a country?
I don't understand.
Where vets are living on the streets, yet we're giving these people money.
We could go into that all day, but I mean,
so disgusting.
I don't understand the logic. I mean, when Trump was in office, we got AOC crying on the news with all these people put in cages and everything. Well, they're still in cages. But you won't go near the border now.
Of course not. Of course not.
It's just total hypocrisy.
But to see money being held out there,
our money.
I'm like, what is going on in this country?
Yeah, and they're making a show out of it on purpose.
Yes,
they're trying to pretend like they're putting a happy face on it.
And don't give me that. Well, why don't we just take the Statue of Liberty down because it doesn't mean anything anymore?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
It was a pathway legally to people.
Right.
And by the way, if you're going to start refunding kids their money for schools and stuff, why don't we start refunding the people that paid to get into this country legally?
That's right. I call that an inflation immigration. Because my assistant, she came here lawfully, legally, spent $5,000 5 years to get it. With inflation immigration, you have folks, and you talk to people who are the most upset about the border. It's people who did it right.
Oh, sure.
It's the people that did it the right way.
Exactly.
And they're watching these people, cut in line.
Yep.
It's just not fair. And it's
backlash.
Ideologically, I just don't understand why some people think that open borders are okay. I mean, they've got their reasons, and I'll leave it to their reasons, but I just believe that's not the way. It's not the pathway that I see. So you talk about policies, and listen, I've been talking about policies the entire race. I talk about my policy on open borders. I've talked my policy on inflation, my policy in the military. Of course, with 2 kids, they're going to be officers in the military and leaders in the military. I think it's very important. I believe it. And Reagan's, best defense is a good offense, or the best offense is a good defense, rather.
Right.
But, and we've not really done that.
Yeah.
Listen, when Trump was in power, did we have a problem with Ukraine?
No.
Did we? Was anybody doing it in Taiwan?
Putin wouldn't have dared to.
No, that wasn't happening.
Right.
So, when I got in the race, the first thing I said is I'm a Trump Republican because I believe in those policies. And I think that's what we're missing right now. There's no backbone. So, that's what I want to do.
Well, I just want to say one thing on the amnesty thing.
Sure.
And listen, I'm not for amnesty, but But look, once the borders are secure, these people are here. And what we need to do is we need to find out who they are. And
great question.
And get them into the system like you and I are and everybody else are. So I believe it. One day we need to say, look, we know you're here. We're going to give you 60 days to register yourself to this country. But once you're registered, you are going to pay a fine to live here. And whether it's $5,000 over 12 years or 10 years, whatever, at least it's something.
Yeah. Well, the bottom line is that I applaud Governor Abbott for doing this and showing the hypocrisy of the whole situation. And it's really, I hate to say amusing because it is costing us money. Mm-hmm. And it's worse yet, again, of the coyotes smuggling people in, and the fentanyl is just, it's like murder, a murder sentence.
Every other day, you can open up and see like a story where someone picks up, they're now having people picking up dollar bills on the street laced with fentanyl, and people are dying from it. Yes, absolutely. It's a horrible problem. And I think that just when you saw about the border problem, it's not just the people, it's the drugs.
Sure.
It's the crime. These are unchecked. And Ed, to your point, the folks coming in, we don't know who they are. We don't know who they are. So,
they're not sending their best citizens.
No, they're not sending their best and brightest.
It's ignorant for us to just believe they're all Mexican.
Correct. They're not.
They're not from the Middle East.
Yeah.
Well, we just took out another ISIS member.
Well, Castro pulled that one on us, remember?
Yes.
Before, where he emptied his jail and his mental institution.
Yes.
Well, I want to get
to
this.
Go on, leave.
What endorsements do you have, Kevin?
It's funny because I have been General Michael Flynn endorsed me, and what an amazing human being he is. We were just talking this morning, talked to him. He's just a great person. Obviously, he was moved by the fact that my kids have such a strong military connection.
Sure.
As he said, his words, I'm the only Trump Republican in the race. He says these are his words. Also got a nice endorsement and a nice tweet this morning from Rob O'Neill, the Navy SEAL who killed Osama bin Laden.
Right.
And Rob came down.
A lot. Yep.
Yeah, he came down, did a fundraiser for me and spoke. And Rob, as he said, what a true patriot. He was on the Captain Phillips mission. He was on the Osama bin Laden mission.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a great patriot. Also, if you follow here locally, Sheriff Bob Gualtieri has endorsed me. Jim Coates, his predecessor, has endorsed me. If you go Mike Pendergast to the north, the sheriff of Citrus County has endorsed me. And there's a sheriff over in Polk County you guys probably never heard of, Grady Judd.
I love
Grady Judd has endorsed me. I've been texting with Grady today. He's asking, how are you doing?
I want to meet him so
Grady
much.
is the most wonderful person. And that's the interesting thing is, in my race, all the candidates had an opportunity to meet with these folks and get their endorsements. And for me, it's so humbling. I got Ed Hooper, I got Speaker of the House Chris Sprouls, I've got Ken Burke, the clerk, I got Bruce Bartlett, the state attorney, Sarah Mull, the public defender. Literally 37 local endorsements, more than any other candidate in the race. And it's just been so humbling. And I think that when you've been here and they've known me before I was a candidate, and those relationships make all the world of difference. And, and it's so... For me, it's sort of an out-of-body experience. I'm talking with General Flynn. I'm talking today.
Cool. Well, before we run out of time.
Sorry.
Before we run out of time, give us your contact info.
Sure.
If you want, not too late. You can still vote tomorrow.
You can still vote with Kevin Hazlett. Kevin Hazlett, Hayslet, Hazlett for Congress.com. Hazlett for Congress.com. Hayslet for Congress.com.
So just chill out. Drink a 7-Up. Eat a moon pie. Quit murdering people.
There he is, America's Sheriff, Grady Judd.
There he is. That's a nice little add-on there by Big Ed Davis.
Big Ed, he's awesome.
Producer. Well, Kel, we need to thank our guest today, huh?
Our guests today were Diane Wood, the director of the Cultural and Civic Services Department for Tarpon Springs, and Kevin Hazlett, candidate for Congress in tomorrow's Republican primary for Florida's 13th congressional district.
You got it out.
You got it right. Get out and vote. Get out and vote. Awesome.
Get out and vote.
If you haven't voted yet, you could have voted by mail. You could have voted in person. Not now, you can't, but you can tomorrow at your polling place. up until 7 p.m.
And I'm the number one race in the ballot, the number one name on the ballot.
All right.
So when you get your ballot, I'll be at the top of the list.
Kel, I think it's time for the verse for the week.
Our verse for the week, Ezekiel 35:1. I have filled him with the Spirit of God, with ability and intelligence, with knowledge and all craftsmanship to devise artistic designs.
And I leave you with this. I've learned that people will often forget what you did or said. They'll sometimes forget what you said or did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. So, behalf of Ed Davis, Kelly Kelly, and myself, thanks for being with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week on the Kelly Kelly Show.
Tampa Bay's newest and most entertaining show.
WTAN, Clearwater.
FM 106.1.
WDCF, Dade City.
FM 102.3.
WZHR, Zephyrhills.
FM 104.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Steve Futterman in Los Angeles. Former President Trump's legal team wants an independent review of the documents taken during a court-authorized search at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
As expected, the 21-page court filing has the former president demanding that a special master, an independent arbiter appointed by the court, sift through what the FBI took from Mar-a-Lago